time to slow, no turning back, no shutting down. We own the streets, we run the town. Feel the surge, the current flow, rushing fast, no time to slow, no turning back, no shutting down. We own the streets, we run the town, run the town, run the town. Skylines burning, coated streams.
Hello, class. We are in session. Oh, I can hear myself. I forgot. YouTube's still going on. But how are you all doing today? How we all doing? Hi, everyone on YouTube as well. Welcome in, everybody. How was your week? I'm so sorry I haven't been streaming. Cat takes up a lot of time. He's doing really good now. Not enough Patrick. 5 out of 10, not enough Patrick. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my god, what the fuck did he just do? What did I just hear? Oh my god. Oh man, I just heard a big thump and now I'm like, I might need to go check it out and figure out what the cat is doing. He's doing really good, by the way. How is he doing with the other cat? Spill the latest. Oh, he's just got the zoomies. He's got the mega zoomies. That's what I'm hearing. I'm just hearing him run around. He's so loud. He's so loud, chat. Like, it's insane. He's doing really, really good. He's got zoomies pretty much 24/7 right now. So we have separated the house. The upstairs is his section and downstairs is Nara's section. Hi, Nick. Welcome in. And so right now the boy is both of them are I think we may have introduced visually maybe too fast because Nara got really spooked and she started like swatting at him for like just moving, you know, like just being a normal cat, and it has gotten him so defensive where he is not comfortable with her and she's not respecting his boundaries and he's not respecting hers. So right now we have the house separated. He's got his own section, she's got her own section. I think he just ran in here too. I just heard him, I think. I'm not sure. So it kind of started a little bit of a swatting match at each other. So we're separating them for the time being. It's been really stressful. It sucks because like both cats have been with other cats before, but I think the dynamic is very different. Nara's always been the new cat coming into a territory. Creamsicle was fine with her until she got in his face and got really like upset about life, just him existing. So he's now on the he's very upset. So we're letting the cats kind of cool down, chill out. And then we're doing a slow reintroduction where we're having them right now. There's like a giant TV board, like a giant TV cardboard box that we're using to like divide the two so that way they can't see each other because it's the most solid and they can't push it out of the way. I already tried putting up sheets and stuff and they're getting around it to like see each other. The good news is, even though they were swatting at each other pretty aggressively, they are still interested. They're not avoiding each other. They do want to check each other out. So I think it's just we may have shown visually them a little too soon. So we're just right now going back. We're starting slow. And then what I'm going to start doing after a few days, let them decompress and all that, not see each other during feeding sessions. I'll just like do a little exposure therapy of like show them for a second, like pull a curtain up, put it down. So that way, and then, you know, reward them if they don't react, and obviously don't. It's positive reinforcement. So my roommate and Goob think I'm crazy. They're like, you're taking this like way too over the top. I'm like, yeah, you're talking to someone who like studies animals for a living. Like, that's literally what I did. And especially cats, you can't just plop them in the room. They're very, very social creatures. I actually had a mental breakdown yesterday, like, because they were fighting each other and I was just so fed up with them. I was really upset. How many cats have they had? Most people have had only one or two. Like, how many cats, like, both of them had? Well, technically, my roommate has always lived with a bunch of cats. Sorry, I'm taking off my sweatshirt here real quick. It's really hot up in this room. Oh, I also figured out why it was like 1,000,000 degrees up here. It's still hot, but not as hot. Apparently the heat was kicked on to like trying to pump out like 90 degrees. So it was really, really crazy. That's a small drop in the ocean of possible personalities. A lot of people judge cats based on few cats they've had in their life. Yeah, and I mean, she's grown up with, like, her cat is a foster cat from her own parents. Like, her parents, she grew up with a bunch of foster cats. But you know, that's the thing a lot of people don't realize. Like, cats are very emotional creatures. And it's not even just cats in general. It's all animals. Like, they may just personally not get along with the particular one for whatever reason. They're like, nope, I don't like this one. I don't know why. I think they do that. Like, they're not afraid of each other. They obviously are checking each other out. They keep coming back, and kind of checking each other out. I think it's just we're allowing them to see each other maybe too far. What about water bears? What about water bears? Water bears probably have personalities too. I'm sure they do. Any living organism does. But yeah, so, you know, it's a work in progress. It's going to be, right now we have a mesh gate and a cardboard box to block them from seeing each other for right now because they need a reset. They kind of, we're getting a little too crazy. But other than that, he's doing good. He's running around. Oh my God, chat, it's so cute. He does he does this thing where he stretches up when you're sitting in a chair and he goes uppies. Uppies? He likes uppies, chat. He likes the uppies. And he's the only one I'll give uppies to. Okay, I'm just saying. Also, hi, Danny. I think, yeah, that's your name. Danny, hi. Hello. Welcome in. But yeah, he loves uppies. He will sit and cuddle with you. He cuddled with me last night in the bed. He was under the sheets like a little gremlin. And he was adorable. And then, of course, he just always constantly zoom in. So you may hear him in the background running because he's very, very loud. Because he's also a little over a year old. So if you do hear him, if you do hear, like, thudding in the background, it's just him running around being a crazy maniac. Yeah, he's got crazy zoomies. He's also an orange cat. He's part Maine Coon and Munchkin, and he's got orange. He's an orange Maine Coon Munchkin cat. It's kind of crazy. I don't see either the Maine Coon nor the Munchkin in him, but he does got a really small face compared to his head. Speed racer. Yeah, he really is. He's a little speed demon, but we love him. But yeah, so that's kind of the weekly update of the boy. He's fitting in just fine. He's actually he's doing great. He's thriving. He follows me around a lot. He actually was following me when I was going to the restroom and like walking around getting everything set up, and then he just zoomed off as soon as he was like, okay, you're done, cool, I see you're sitting. So he may come over, he may sit, he may want uppies. I'll give him uppies when he wants. I do plan on by the way, chat, just so a heads up too, if you want to, also feel free if you want to recommend anything on Throne for him. You know, if you want to, I do want to get a camera, a cat cam. Though it's gonna be really hard right now because he likes to move a lot. But he does like to hide up here under the little like bed futon thing we got over here. So when he's up, maybe we can do some redeems. I can get some redeems where we can like do some. I give him toys or treats or you know, whatever. He's very toy motivated. He's not treat motivated. He's very, very toy motivated. So we could definitely do something like that in the future. But right now he's very young, so he's got to get that energy out of him before he starts to mellow out. So it might be a while, but who knows? Maybe we'll get some days where we can get him on camera, do a cat cam, or I can just put a camera in the hallway and you can just watch him run. Release the silly mouse redeem. The silly mouse redeem? What is that? What's the silly mouse? Oh, so are you guys ready to learn about Starfish today? Are you guys ready to learn? We got our Starfish friends here. We got Patrick, Cat Toy. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we can definitely do that. I also need to set up a cam in the hallway. I know, I'm gonna need a long fucking cord. I'm gonna need a ridiculously... Mice are popular toys for cats. Oh my god. So he has his favorite toys. He's got a little soy sauce packet, sushi, sashimi, shrimp. Like, he's got the whole, like, sushi sashimi, like, kit. He loves his toys. Like, loves string, loves, like, any toy. He's not really into lamb chop as much as I know Nara is. She loves her lamb chop toy. He's kind of into it, but he's not. It doesn't fit in his mouth, so that's probably why. Amazon also sells extension cables. Well, there you guys go. Like, you can recommend things on Throne. I can put it on there, and you guys can help support. We can get this set up. I do want to get like some sort of setup on here. It's right now. For the next few months, my room is definitely going to be used as storage because we're fixing our basement. So everything from the basement has to come up because we're gutting our whole basement and doing a whole project on it. So that's going to be fun. So we have to gut everything. So that's going to take a couple months. So it may be a while before we get a cam set up because it's going to be like crazy. Like, it's going to look really insane up here. It's gonna be a mess, but hey, gotta do it sometimes to get your house right the first time while they're digging up our sewer pipes. So anyways, welcome to the Starfish class. All right, you guys pick Starfish. As you can see, Starfish come in varieties of different shapes, sizes. They're even inspired as cartoon characters. Our famous starfish of all, Patrick Star. So, if you guys are wondering, well, what are starfish, right? Big question a lot of people have. What are starfish? So Seastars, they're also known as Seastars. So you'll hear me go between Seastars and Starfish. Both are the same. It's just, you know, they both mean the same thing. So Patrick, no, this is Patrick. Yeah. So sea stars are invertebrates. So they are animals without a backbone. That's what invertebrate means. We are vertebrates, so that means we have backbones. And so they are actually related to sea urchins, sea cucumbers, and sand dollars because they are invertebrates. They're part of that group. And they belong, so all these guys belong in a group which we mentioned prior when we were talking about sea cucumbers. They're part of the ectoderms group. So starfish also belong in the ectoderms group. And I never really went over why they're called ectoderms and why these guys are put into this category together. And what ectoderm means is spiny skin. So they have a spiny skin, and if you ever felt a starfish, they're kind of like hard. They're not very like soft. And that's because their skin is calcified. And that's to help protect them from predators. So it makes them not super squishy and easy for predators to just scoop them up and eat them if they wanted to. So that is why they're called ectoderms. So now you know, now you can see why all these guys. All right, guys, what are ectoderms? If, you know, a sea urchin, a cucumber, sand dollar, and sea star, what do they all have in common? What is it, chat? I know you know. We just went over it. Come on. I know you know. Hi, Omega. Welcome to class. Spineless. Correct. They're spineless, but they are part of the ectoderm category. What is an ectoderm? What makes an ectoderm? What do they all have that makes them an ectoderm? I did not hear the question. So it's right here. I'm giving you an open test quiz right here, pop quiz right now. A quick question. What is an ectoderm? Funky skin? Not quite. Not quite. What is an ectoderm? What does it mean? Yeah, spiny skin. Good job, Omega. See, Omega got it. So remember, guys, spiny skin. Ectoderm means spiny skin. So that is the most important thing. So remember, ectoderm means spiny skin. Okay? So that is what an ectoderm is. It's a spiny skin animal. And they're also an invertebrate, which technically I didn't clarify. I said, what do they all have in common? So for those of you who said backbone, you are also correct. Like, they don't have a backbone. You're correct. That is correct. So I didn't quite clarify it. Patrick doesn't have spikes, though. His skin is spiny, though. So sea stars are kind of the most unusual tide pool creatures. And the reason why is they can push out their stomachs, they can see with their arms, they can regrow body parts, and they can move using water pressure. And we'll go into all the details about these. You're probably wondering, what the heck do you mean by these? And we'll actually go into more detail here in the PowerPoint. But that's just, you know, some really unusual things. They are very unusual critters. It's very fascinating to think that this guy right here is very unique in that sense. So body structure. So these guys, they start life with a bilateral symmetry. So that just means their left side and the right side match. So it's the exact same on both sides. So if they have like we're mostly bilateral symmetry where we have a left hand and a right hand, right? And they match. As well as 2 feet, 2 eyes, all that kind of stuff. We usually are also pretty bilaterally symmetric. Minus a few, you know, obviously we're not going to be exact, but we're not going to go into details about that. We're, by definition, in a simple form, we are bilateral symmetry. 2 personalities. Not 2 personalities. What happens if the arm is split in half? Like as in, if it gets like split in half, it grows into 2 separate arms. I think if I remember, I think that's what happens. They grow into 2 separate arms. And we'll go into more about that. And then over time, these guys will grow into their radial symmetry. So, you know, a lot of times they'll have, you know, the 5 here. So usually they usually will have 5, and then they can have up to actually 40 arms. So it can be between 5 to 40 is roughly how many arms they can have. Should split Patrick's head into multiple, to multiply his smarts. Not quite. That's not how he would multiply his smarts. That would make 2 of him, though. So, I mean, yeah, I guess it would multiply his smarts. And then these guys, so how they see, so that mention of that arm. So these guys have a really cool thing. If you've ever looked at one, if you ever get a chance to look at one really close, on the tips of their arms, they have these like little spots. It's like a dot, and they're actually a light sensitive eye spot. So they have one on each arm. So that's how they're able to see. So they technically have eyes, and it's on the end of their little arms here. So each arm has one of these light sensitive eye spots. So they detect light by, you know, shadow and light. So that's how they're able to determine what they're surrounded by. They don't have the best eyesight, obviously, because all they can see is, you know, light and shadows, and that's it. But it does give them a good idea of, hey, is this a predator? Should, you know, is this a cliff or whatever? So that's how they're actually able to see. They got eyes on the ends of their arms. So, size and diversity. Starfish are very, very, very diverse. There's roughly around 2,000 species worldwide. Their range in size can be less than 1 inch to up to 3 feet and wide. So they can be as small as little babies, or they can be, you know, up to 3 feet, which is pretty massive. That's a pretty, you know, that's pretty big. So that's like half of me. That's pretty crazy. And then, of course, some of them can have 20 plus arms. They can have up to 40. So, you know, they come in all different shapes and sizes. They can be as small as you can be. And I've seen little baby starfish, like the little guys that are like less than 1 inch. And they're so cute. They're so cute. And you know, and the big ones, they're massive. They're crazy. So they have different shapes and sizes and everything you can think of under the sun. Yeah, they can be little guys. Habitat and environment. So these guys live only in salty water. So they only live in salt water. And you can find starfish in all oceans. And they are environments that include tide pools, coral reefs, kelp forests, deep sea, and they can go as deep as 9,000 meters or 29,500 feet. So these guys are pretty much everywhere and anywhere. The only thing that they're not going to be in is obviously freshwater, brackish water. They are only strictly saltwater. So you can only find them in the oceans. Any salt water, they're going to be there. So that's where they live. They range everywhere. Now, of course, I couldn't go through specifically what species lives where, because there's over 2,000 of them. So just know they're everywhere. You know, everywhere. They just come in different shapes, sizes. They're everywhere. You can find all different kinds all over the place. So their movement is really fascinating. I actually really like how these guys move. They move in a very unique way. So they use what's known as tube feet. And tube feet are these little suction cups. On the bottom, and the next slide, it will show you an up close of what it looks like. And it's like little suction cups, and they suck on. And how it's sucked, like how that suction works is it's actually powered by a water-filled hydraulic system. So their body is really fascinating, and we'll go into more details. They'll go, we'll talk about this hydraulic system. But pretty much the best way to describe it is water enters through a structure called the madreporite, and it's like right at the top here. It's hard to see, but it's like a little black dot. I don't know if this would be it right here. It's hard to see. I can't tell. That kind of maybe looks like it, but it's somewhere on the top that brings the water to bring the water in, and then it's like it's super cool. It's super cool. So here we go. YouTube video, chat.
Most sea stars also have the remarkable ability to consume prey outside their bodies. Using their feet, they pry open clams or oysters, and their stomach emerges from their mouth and oozes inside the shell. The stomach then envelops the prey to digest it before withdrawing it back into the body.
So that's its feeding. Wait, did I accident? Oh yeah. So that's its feeding. So as they mentioned, so these guys, how they eat, it will go into like the movement, but their feeding is really cool. So as you see, they will actually come up to their prey and they like throw their stomach onto the prey item, and like the stomach will envelop like it, and they release their digestive acid while the animal's still alive, and that's how it like takes down its prey. It's really cool stuff.
So how do these colourful little stars get around? The underside of the starfish is covered with hundreds of little tube feet that contain cells.
Oh shoot, sorry chat, hold on.
Most sea the stomach.
So yeah, I wanted to show you, I forgot to point this out.
So how do these colourful hundreds of...
You can see here, this is their tube feet. So all these little suction cup things right here, these little guys that are sticking out, that's all their tube feet. So that's what creates that suction for them.
Little tube feet that contain cells that are specialized for adhesion. These are used for walking around, attaching to rocks, and for holding onto prey. To move, each tube foot swings like a leg, lifting up and swinging forward, then planting itself on the ground and pushing back. The bulb at the top of the tube foot and inside the starfish are called ampulla.
So yeah, this is at the tip. So these little long guys, these long skinny ones, those are the ampullae, or as they call it, the ampulla. So these are a special organ that they're gonna talk about.
When the ampulla contracts, it's squeezing water down into the tube foot, which then extends. To retract the tube foot, the ampulla relaxes. So, sea stars use water pressure to move their legs.
So the ampullae or the ampulla, what they do is they help with the contraction and retraction. So that's how they're able to like stretch, like, you know how we're able to contract and retract our muscles. That's what the ampulla do for them. So the ampulla control the traction or the retract to unretract. So that's what they do, which is really, really cool.
Each foot has two sets of secretory cells that secrete compounds that allow the foot to first attach, then detach to a surface. These are mainly used when moving across or up sheer surfaces. Sea stars and other echinoderms are extremely important to the biodiversity of our oceans. Invertebrates make up around 95% of animals in the ocean, so they are the most common major group, and starfish are a very important predator in the shallow ecosystem. They
sure
eat
are.
basically anything that they come across. Their feeding activities help to control the ecosystem. They are a keystone species. If that species is affected, it's going...
All right, chat. What is a keystone species? We've talked about this a few other times with other animals. What is a keystone species, you guys? Who remembers what a keystone species is? Does anybody in chat remember what a keystone species? Anybody at all? Anybody at all remember what a keystone species is? Does any guesses? Any guesses? Does anyone remember what a keystone species is? Oh, I think I stumped chat. Did I stump you guys? You're all quiet today. Wait, is that Stitches? Wait, Stitches, why can't I see your... Wait, why can't I see you guys messaging? Hold on. What is going on? Oh, wait, hold on. Stone that's the shape of a key important species that's without its entire ecosystem could disappear. Correct, Sir Big Cat. Oh, hold on. My thing just died. Hold on. They are vital to the ecosystem. Yes, they are. Also, hi, Warjack. Hi, Stitches. Hold on. My thing died. I don't know why. Hold on. I gotta reload it real quick. For some reason, it, like, stopped working. I'm like, man, nobody's, like, saying anything. Can someone test? Can someone say hi real quick? Or just write whatever, you know, test whatever. So I can see if this is working. All right, let's see. Dude, my latency is so bad. Testing. Hello, hello. Hey, okay, it's working again. Thank you. Okay. Okay, it's working again. It just, like, stopped. But yes, so keystone species are incredibly important for their environment. They are the top predator that keeps checks and balances on the prey items, and that's what starfish are. They are a keystone species. They help keep a balance
To have a
in our
disproportionately greater effect
ecosystems.
on the whole ecosystem because you're removing a key component. So next time you see a starfish, take a moment to reflect on both their beauty and their importance to life on this planet.
Alrighty, so yeah, so that is from the Wild Planet Trust. So great video. They did a nice deep dive here. I really like their explanation, but that's kind of, you know, how starfish move. So as we saw in that video there, so there's their little tube feet. There they are again. And then there's those little ampullae right here. Can you eat starfish? No. No, you really can't. They don't have meat. When you open them, they're mostly filled with gonads. There's no meat in them. And then it's just like organs and stuff. It's not, you definitely don't want to eat them. I've dissected one and there's no meat. Like, they would be really gross. You would just be eating intestines and stuff and, like, organs and gonads. But yeah, so as we mentioned, the 2 feet, their functions is to help with movement, breathing, catching food, and can pry open shells of prey. So they can do that. Organs like sweetbreads, sure. So yeah, the 2 feet have a lot of function to them. So their diet mostly is they are carnivores. So what they eat is mussels, clams, oysters, snails, worms, crustaceans, and sometimes detritus, so decaying matter. So it's pretty much whatever they can grab at their level. They are bottom-dwelling animals. They are benthic creatures, so that means... Does anyone remember what benthic means? Does anyone remember benthic? What does it mean? Benthic means... Does anyone remember the answer to that one? I'm testing you guys. I'm testing you because anything that we've talked about prior that is brought up again, I'm testing you guys on this. So does anyone remember what benthic means? Lives at the bottom of the ocean. Very deep living creature. So they live on the bottom. They live on the ocean floor. So that's benthic. So it doesn't mean they're very deep living. It's just, it means bottom ocean floor. So they stay on the ocean floor. That is the best way to describe it. So these guys hang around the bottom. So of course it makes sense that they're going to eat mussels and clams and oysters and snails and worms and crustaceans and detritus, because all that stuff is going to be on the bottom of the ocean. These guys can't swim. They don't swim above. They live all on the bottom as well. So you can see this guy, he's going for this tasty clam or scallop here. That looks like a scallop actually. So he's going for that scallop. He's going to try to. So yeah, they eat anything that they can get their little tube feet on. So as they mentioned, they got a really unique feeding method. So as the video mentioned, wait, so it's cold on the bottom, so why are they in like warmer aquarium tanks? So they live pretty much, Con, what you missed is these guys live everywhere. They live in all oceans. They are everywhere. You can find them in warm, cold, mild, like they can live in any salt water. They are specifically salt water, and they live in all bodies of ocean. And the reason why they can also live cold and warm places is because there are 2,000 different kinds of starfish out there. So because of that, there are some that can live in there are starfish that live in the Arctic, and then there are some that live in the Bahamas. So they can live anywhere. So temperature doesn't really matter, you know? No, so the same starfish, so they can't really adjust to temperature climate. So for instance, like the Arctic, a lot of those starfish have, like most animals out there, they have like antifreeze in their blood pretty much. So any normal starfish would not be able to survive in that. So there are some that are better living in warmer climates than in colder climates. It's just hard to tell you specifically which ones live where, because like I mentioned, there are 2,000 types. So it's pretty much you can find the right starfish for whatever temperature of your tank is. That is they come in all different temperature ranges, so they're more susceptible. They obviously don't put them in Arctic water from the Bahamas. That's, and the same with Arctic to the Bahamas. Don't do that, because that's obviously crazy. That's too much of an extreme difference. But if it's slightly colder or slightly warmer, they're not gonna freak out. They take it a lot better than fish do. And if anything, your fish would probably die first before the starfish. Yeah. Yeah, and don't put your starfish into a deep fryer. They are not tasty. Yes, exactly. So these guys, kind of how they feed is they actually push their stomachs outside of their body. So they pretty much, when they are on top of their prey, when they're pretty much almost on top, they throw their stomach outside of their body and surrounds the animal. And what this does is it starts digesting food externally. So their stomach actually, when it's thrown out, it will secrete its digestive enzymes outside of the stomach. And what happens is it turns the prey into a liquid. And then they just are eating it and sucking up the liquid of the animal. And then once they're done, they just suck their stomach back in. Their stomach is their mouth. Yeah, kind of. So their stomach is being, imagine us if we just went bleh with our stomach. That's what they're doing. They're letting their stomach come out of their mouth in a sense. So it's kind of like teeth for them. It's very, very interesting. Hi, Jazz. Welcome in. As entertainment factor, have a starfish open the oysters and clams for you to eat. Well, the problem is the starfish opens, it would be throwing its stomach on there and start digesting it. By the time it opens the oyster and clams, so what happens with oysters and clams, so what's really cool is starfish have really strong fucking stomachs. I mean strong. Like, these do not tear easily, because what they do with clams and oysters is when they open them slightly, they throw their stomach in there, the clam shuts it, but their stomach's in there and it doesn't bother them. And then they just start releasing their enzymes in the oyster and clam. And that's how they get into it. And it until it like dies of the digestive acid, and then it will like, obviously there's no muscle holding it back anymore. So don't camels do something similar to vomiting their stomach. They do. I know they vomit. I forget why. I don't know camels specifically. Like, these guys aren't really like throwing up their stomach. They're just like, bleh, you know, like spitting it out. They're just like throwing it out. They're like, yeet. So that's their way of like feeding. And because their stomach lining is so strong that when the clam or whatever shuts on it, it doesn't bother it. Like, it doesn't hurt. It's fine. Its stomach will be fine. And it doesn't rip or anything. So they have really, really strong stomachs too. But not only, yes, they are predators. And that is true. But these guys also do have predators themselves. So they are not the top predator. They are a predator. But a lot of things like to eat them. So they get eaten by like different kinds of fish and birds, sea turtles, crabs and shrimp, large snails. And especially some predators may swallow them whole, or they will flip them over to eat the softer underside, because this underside of them, it's completely defenseless. Eaten by shrimp. Yeah, certain shrimps can eat these guys. They're usually pretty. It's not like shrimp that you're thinking of, like what we're eating. There's different kinds of shrimp that can eat these guys. So it's not all shrimp. It's very types of shrimp and crab. But they can flip these guys over, and when they're flipped over, they're kind of exposed. It's very, very soft and squishy under here. That's the part that makes them vulnerable, and that's what the animals will eat of them. Animals may like the taste of starfish, but I do not recommend eating these guys. They are not tasty at all, chat, at all. So, a really cool thing about starfish is they can actually regenerate. So, as long as their central disc, so, you know what I didn't think of? I didn't put a anatomy photo on here. I should have put on a anatomy photo for you guys. They have this like ring disc in the center of them. So right here, you can kind of see where her face is. There's like a ring that goes around here. And then there's like a little tubes. That's the hydraulic system that pushes the water to the tube feet. And that ring, as long as that doesn't get damaged, they can regrow, which is really, really cool. So as long as it doesn't get like, as long as it has part of the central disc and part of the arm. So as long as it takes a piece of the central disc and the arm, it can regrow. So, and they can regrow into a separate, if they want, but they need to have this combination. And it takes about roughly a year for them to regrow like fully. So very, very interesting. So sometimes you may see starfish where one of their arms looks really smaller than the rest. That's because that arm, maybe a predator ate it, or it's mostly that, but maybe it got jammed somewhere and it got crushed. Like, who knows? Like, there's so many reasons. But as long as they still have that a part of their central disc and one arm, they're good. Like, they can regrow. And that section, if there's a section where it's like the central disc and the arm is separate, it can actually grow into a whole new starfish too. So very, very, very cool. So it can be two different kinds of starfish. So very fascinating. I know you need to tap 1 blue mana to regenerate the starfish. Yes, you need 1 blue mana to regenerate the starfish. I tap 1 blue mana to regenerate my starfish. So, hi, Grape Lemonade. You like men? Hey, we're proud of you, man. We're proud of you here. Good for you. We're proud. We're proud. Nothing wrong with that at all. Ah! Oh, wait. Why is my thing, like, not showing? Oh, my God. Everything's breaking, chat. Hello? Hello? Oh, it's... That's why. Also, thank you, Oblivion. Hi. Thank you for the hydrate. We love Scuff. Yes, we do. How are you doing, by the way? Oh, shit, Jazz. I didn't even see your redeem. I'm so sorry. Are they related or the same star? They're the same starfish. Yeah, yeah. Hello, test check. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Sir Big Cat. Hello, hello. Okay, I have to talk in whale because I didn't realize. Thanks, Jads. I now get why you went hee. I don't know if you're still here. Oh, you said tee-hee. I was waiting for you to notice. You should have said something. So, all right. So, we now have reproduction of starfish, where they do their reproduction, where they will release their larvae into the water. Some, though, will actually protect their young. And how they do this is an example. There is a blood starfish that holds the eggs in a pouch. So, chat, there are 2 types of reproduction. Also, to anyone watching stream, I promise you this will end in like 4 minutes. I do apologize. This is very difficult to do. But as we were talking, they have 2 types of ways of reproduction, where they will release egg and sperm into the water, and then some will keep their young in a pouch until they are big enough to go on their own. So there's reproduction. Some fun facts and features about these guys is that they have no brain or blood. That is a true fact. They don't have a brain or blood. Very fascinating. They also can use seawater to move nutrients around. So that's a really cool way. Wow. I feel offended by you calling me Miss Puff. When I talk like this, he does not sound like this. But yes, these guys can use seawater to help move nutrients, which is good for ecosystems, because they need nutrients to survive and grow. Like, for instance, corals. They need that to grow. Or plants like nutrients as well. This is really hard to talk in whale. Then, as we mentioned before, those eye spots on the tips of each arm. They have one light sensitive eye spot on each arm. They're also very resilient animals. As we mentioned about the warm and cold water, they can adjust to temperature differences a lot better than most animals. Most fish will die way before a starfish does. So there are some cool facts. Oh my god. So there we go. God, that was awful. But yeah, so to kind of go everything again, to explain it in non-whale terms, release larvae into water, protect their young. Blood stars will hold eggs in pouch. So I'm just gonna recap that real quick. And then special features, they have no brain or blood. Really, really cool. They use seawater to move nutrients. So very awesome. They have light sensitive eye spots, which we mentioned earlier, and they're extremely resilient. So they can actually take a water temperature change. Like, you know, they have a much wider span of resilience to water temperature versus like tropical fish or any type of fish. They have a much more narrow and very fine temperature fluctuation they can go through versus these guys that have a much wider fluctuation. So makes them like moving plant than normal animal with no brain. No, they're an animal. So they are an animal. They're not a plant. So animals, there are a lot of animals that don't have brains, believe it or not. Jellyfish are an example of that. There are ctenophores as well. They don't have brains as well. Hi, Matt. Welcome in. Also, congrats on the first. And you're one of them. Oh my god, what the hell? You're saying I don't have a brain? Hi, Saul. I do. Some days I don't have a brain. Yeah, it's some days my brain just doesn't want to work, so. Sometimes I'm like a sea star, so. Unfortunately, though, sea stars are unfortunately on the decline. It is really sad. So they're not harmful themselves. A lot of people think sea stars are harmful. Yes, they can. It like I know out in the what is it? The oh my god, my brain isn't thinking of it. So the fact that Patrick Star has no brain was correct. Yes. Correct, Amber. What is it called? The oh my god, my brain is blanking. The biggest coral reef. I can't think of the name of it right now. My brain, the Great Coral Reef, right? That's out in Australia, right? Unfortunately, these guys, like the Great Coral Reef. Yes. I was like, I'm like, isn't it called just the Great Coral Reef? I don't know why I couldn't remember that. My brain right now is really bad today. I'm having a really bad brain day today. But anyways, so these guys, the thorny star, sea star that people see out in the Great Reef that are like destroying the corals and stuff. Yes, like that can be harmful. But there's obviously the problem is with them is they lost. So their situation there is they lost their keystone predator there. And so these thorny sea stars were able to grow. I think they're called like the King of Thorns or something. I forget the exact name. They're very, very cool looking. But they're like mass producing like crazy and they're just destroying everything. That is unfortunately like a specific problem with them. What predator was lost? I can't remember. It's been a hot minute. I just remember about hearing it. Hold on. Let me look here. Great Barrier Reef. That's what it's great. That's what it's called. The Great Barrier Reef. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. The Great Barrier Reef. Crown of Thorns. That's what they're called. So yeah, they're called the Crown of Thorns. Yes, yes, yes. So they have a bunch of a bunch of these guys, and they're, what was their natural? Crown of Thorns. They're predator. Hold on. So they have the Titan triggerfish, the starry pufferfish, and the Triton trumpet snail. And then the humphead Maori wrasse. So a lot of those guys. Wait, hold on. Yeah, so they, because there's a huge decline of them. So what's happening, how these guys, so they're predators, though, so that's the name. There's like a bunch of them. So what's happening is it is on us too. We are also impacting the Great Barrier Reef, which has triggered this outbreak of Crown of Thorns because we messed with the ecosystem and we have been destroying the Great Barrier Reef, that it's actually hurting a lot of their predators. And it is, that's what caused the population of Crown of Thorns to like boom in population, which is also helping destroy the Great Barrier Reef. So that's the difference. We are going to get hit with ads here soon. So I am going to not continue here for right now. We are going to go, as soon as it hits, we're going to go on a 3-minute break. This is where you guys can get water, get some stretches in, maybe a snack break, maybe a dinner break, whatever you guys need to do. And, you know, potty break, whatever you need to do. And we'll come back here in, you know, 3 to 5 minutes. So we'll start the, you know, the break here soon. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited to continue to learn. We only got, I think, like 3 more PowerPoints. We have a few more. We're at what, 16? So we got like about 5-6 more slides here. So I hope you guys are enjoying right now. Does anyone have any questions so far about anything that we've talked about? Anyone have any questions about anything about Starfish? I can look up the answers because I won't know everything, but I can definitely look into it for you. Or if you wanted to go over something specific. Humans being bad again. Also take a quick water break. Yes, yes, yes. Humans are always the problem. We are always the problem. But we will go into the kind of the decline, and you guys are kind of getting a little quick thing. And we're actually gonna right after this, we're gonna jump into another video as well. So alrighty, guys. Well, we're gonna go on our 3-minute ad break. I will see you all in a little bit. All right, we'll be back. Get some self-care in. All right. we back? All right, class. Is everybody back? Are we all back? Are we ready to continue to learn? Are we excited to continue to learn, chat? We're almost done. We're almost done. I promise. Let me know if you are ready to continue. Not sure, sound off when you back, chat. Wait, not sure, sound off when you back? Wait, what do you mean by sound off? Holy bananas! Hi, Blast. Welcome, welcome in. How's it going? So, as we were all continuing, am I too loud? Is that why? Is my mic too loud, chat? Nobody ever tells me until it's like at the end of stream. But anyways, we'll continue on. So as we were starting to talk about before the ad breaks, before the ads rolled in, we are talking about the Seastar decline and how there is, you know, obviously they are not a harm themselves. The only situation they are slightly harmful is the crown of thorns in the Great Barrier Reef, but that is due to us kind of destroying the ecosystem there and hurting their predators and them not having any predator. It's sort of loud, but I learned to lower your volume on stream. You know, you guys can just tell me if I'm too loud. You can be like, hey, lower your mic. I can lower it. Like, there. Is that better? Does that sound better? You guys sound... Am I still too loud? So, as we were talking about, so the thorn crowns, they're kind of an exception to that rule. Another problem, though, that is kind of common, especially in the Pacific coast, is there's actually a huge loss of population due to actually disease. So there's been over 5 billion deaths just on the Pacific coast. So humongolongulos. And then another girl came in and she had huge honkers. I mean, big bazungas. I mean, humongolongulos. And, sorry, I got very distracted there. And the disease that starfish, specifically only starfish can get, it is called the Starfish Wasting Syndrome. It's, or short for SSWT is the abbreviated term for it. And it's linked to warm waters and bacteria. So it's mostly in the warmer waters that this disease is happening. And we're going to watch a little video about the type of sea star wasting disease, so that way you guys can learn a little more about it. And this is from the Red List Critically Endangered.
Beginning in 2013, a devastating disease known as sea star wasting syndrome began causing sea stars' bodies to break down into disintegrating tissue.
So yeah, pretty much this disease like causes them to just completely disintegrate. Also, thanks the most random dude for the follow. Appreciate it. So yeah, they pretty much just disintegrate.
Of the 20 species affected, sunflower stars were hit
Yeah, sunflowers are like the specific, but if I wanted to go back here, like, look at this. This is what's left of, like, this is what the inside of a starfish looks like. It's just a bunch of goop. There's like a bunch of the stringy white stuff in them. That's why, like, you definitely don't want to eat these guys.
Were hit particularly hard. The disease killed an estimated 5.75 billion sunflower stars, making it the largest recorded marine wildlife disease outbreak in history.
Crazy.
The global population has plummeted by over 90%, and they've recently earned the status of critically endangered.
That's awful.
Scientists noticed a key pattern.
So yeah, so this particular sea star is critically endangered. There are others that are okay. But just to think of that, guys, that this disease has dropped them down, has taken out 90% of its population. That's a lot of, like, when you think about it,
of the disease often coincided with unusually warm ocean temperatures. While researchers are still studying how exactly marine heat waves and the disease interact, the connection between the rising temperatures and catastrophic sea star declines is clear. The effects of this loss ripple through the entire ecosystem. Sunflower sea stars are one of the primary predators of...
What do you guys, did you guys see? Look at, who's this? It's a sea urchin. And this starfish is about to eat him.
Predators of sea urchins, which means that without them, urchin populations have exploded. These unchecked urchins are devouring kelp forests, vital underwater habitats that provide food, shelter, and even cycle nutrients like carbon from the atmosphere to the sea. As kelp forests vanish...
Look at... Oh, whoop. Ah! Oh my god. Sorry, chat. Hold on. Look at us back. Hold on. Like, look at how many sea urchins are in this, like, right here. And just, like, imagine there used to be a kelp forest here. And you can just see the remains of what used to be here. They wipe out everything, like wipe it completely clean. And that's why this is where I was talking about, like, remember how we were talking about the sea otters and all that? The starfish do help with keeping urchin populations down, the sea urchin populations, so they don't go and bloom like this, go and boom. So you can see now why it's so important. Now you're learning, like, how every animal does benefit other animals. And if we were to remove that animal, it disrupts everything. Like, the whole cycle of how things function and work. And that's, like, you don't think about it, but it's like the sea otter relies on the starfish. And you just don't even think about that. Like, you don't make that connection. You're like, what does a starfish, how does that help a sea otter? And now that you're seeing the, like, why it's considered a keystone species, here's the result of that. If we lose sea stars, if they go completely extinct, like, so, like, sea otters and other types of animals that rely on, like, sea stars, they're going to dwindle and could go extinct too. Like, it's a vicious cycle.
Species that depend on them also suffer. But there is hope. In some cold, deep-water fjords in British Columbia, Hakai scientists have found evidence of potential refuge populations. These efforts are vital, not just to save a species on the brink, but to restore balance to an entire marine ecosystem.
So as you saw, that species of the sun sea star, they also can live in colder water too, which is very helpful. So as the earth is warming and the waters are getting warmer, it's causing bacteria in the water to get very active. If you notice, bacteria really thrives in a very hot and humid environment. And of course, like, obviously in an ocean, it's full of bacteria and stuff. The warmer the water gets, the more reactive the bacteria is going to get to. And that's probably what's causing this. Hey, thank you so much, Shady Serpent, for the follow. Welcome in. So, as you can see, there is a real impact on the warming of waters. This is why we need to be really cautious and careful of what we are doing to our ecosystems, because it does impact. So, as we mentioned, so that video mentioned, to kind of reiterate that, the impacts is, you know, as we mentioned, the sea stars are keystone predators. And without them, sea urchins will explode in numbers, kelp forests will be destroyed, sea urchin barrens form. So as you saw in that one clip there of it just being completely rock, what once used to be a, that once used to be a luscious green kelp forest is completely now just rock and barren and no form of life. And then mussels start to dominate shorelines, and mussels are great and all, but like that, if there's too many, that can be a real problem too. So wait, so not only are prehistoric bacteria getting released from the polar ice caps, but also there is bacteria release in the sea gas. Yeah. So I mean, like, there's tons of bacteria in the ocean, and we're releasing a ton of more bacteria that hasn't been seen around in who knows how long. And it's yeah, we're really screwing these animals badly. So the sunflower sea star, so that was the one we were talking about. As we mentioned, they're critically endangered. Population decline to 90 to 100%. Some areas they're functionally extinct. So the reason why I say 100% is because in certain regions they're completely gone, like they're extinct from those areas. And as you like, their former range was from Alaska to Southern California, but as they mentioned, I think it was in like in Britain or somewhere in the British waterways, they were able to find some that are refuge, and they're seeking out colder water in order to survive. So they're very good with, like, as we meant, they're resilient, which is awesome. So it allows them to adapt a lot easier. But still, it could, who knows how long until that water gets warmed, and then they're gonna have to go farther north and north and north. And that's not good, because we need them for our corals and for the kelp. And, of course, the kelp and all that, they're not in the north. They're not in the colder waters. They're in the warmer waters. So we're trying to figure out where this disease comes from. Why is it a thing? How can we stop this disease? If we start to see a starfish that is going through it, is there a way that we can give them some sort of, vaccine or some sort to prevent them from getting that WD, so that way they don't get the starfish wasting disease. So it's really, really important. And unfortunately, the sunflower sea star is really feeling the impact. This is not the sunflower sea star, by the way. It's just a thing. So, but as we mentioned, we are trying to make efforts in conservation. So they are doing breeding programs. So they are trying to breed these guys in human care, in captivity. I don't like using the word captivity. It just sounds really cruel, because a lot of people don't have these. Captive is like for people that are using it in malicious reasons, while actual people trying to make a conservation effort are actually like taking really, really good care of these guys. So that's why I like to say the word human care, not captive. It's just better. But we like to, have these breeding programs to try to see if we can get populations going in human care, so that way we can release these guys out into the wild when they're ready. They're also raising the larvae in laboratories, so they're starting to learn aquaculture for specifically sea stars is really, really awesome. A lot of places do aquaculture. So, like, as we mentioned in our last class from last week with the clownfish, what do they do? They also have the designer clownfish that get bred in human care. So that way we're not going out and destroying ecosystems to just have a bunch for our tanks. We already have some that are, in care, and we can breed them, and they're able to raise them up from their larvae stage all the way through their different stages of life to full grown adult, and then sell them, which is awesome. So it's protecting the oceans that way. So we're not going out there and taking more of a wild population out. So not only are we able to, we're trying to learn how to raise these larvae, breed them, all that kind of stuff, do aquaculture. They're also trying to study this disease, what causes it, why does this happen, how can we prevent this, is there a vaccine that we can give them to help them. They're also, you know, monitoring the wild populations to check. That's how we're able to, you know, we're monitoring the crown of thorns. Unfortunately, there was a big, massive population of them this year. So it was really, really important that we had a bunch of divers go out there and kill as many as they can, because the crown of thorns are actually problematic in that sense. And then obviously, you know, they're protected under the Endangered Species Act. You know, they're trying to protect them. Obviously, you know, it's hard to you know, monitor that all the time, but they are making a lot of efforts in trying to protect these guys. So we're making huge strides and efforts to take care of them. And that is the end of our presentation. Woo! Hey! All right. Does anyone have any questions for me at all about Seastars or Starfish, or did you guys, or, you know, just tell me what was your fun fact that you learned about like Seastars that you didn't know, or if you did know all this, you know, or did those videos kind of like, were you fascinated, you know, was there anything that fascinated you from it? Like, you're like, whoa, I didn't realize there was a specific disease that called the sea star wasting disease that causes them to literally waste away and disintegrate. Like, what was your favorite parts of the presentation, or maybe a fact that you didn't know that you really liked, or any questions? Not exactly a starfish question, but does brain coral actually exist? Yeah, brain coral is a real coral. It is a real thing. And there's different types of brain coral, too. So, that is a thing. That is a thing. But any other questions? Anyone have anything that they want to say that they thought was interesting? I cannot seem to remember my favorite thing about him. You can't remember? Uh-oh, that's not good. It is a lot of information. I do try to keep it around an hour to an hour and a half, so that way you guys aren't getting like blasted with a ton of information. I do try to keep it, you know, simple, and that's why if you notice my PowerPoints are starting to get very more like simpler wording, because I realized I was throwing a lot of words at you guys, and I'm like, you guys probably don't even know what half of it. So I've been trying to like dumb it down in a way that's like in layman terms for you guys, because sometimes I forget that not everyone studies marine biology, so they don't know exactly what these terms mean or say or do. So I try to explain it in very easy digestible words. But the starfish in the Great Barrier Reef, but the craniforms variety is being heavily researched and trying to be limited in numbers due to how damaging they have been some years to the coral. Yes. Yeah, so the crown of thorns, they are actually like, because their populations have exploded, it's like the lionfish, they are hunting them because they're fine. Like, their population is doing just fine right now. So, like, there's too many of them, so they have to, like, kind of dwindle their populations. And they are trying to figure out, like, what is triggering these explosive. But, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, we kind of figured it out. So, culling by humans and trying to make sure there is enough predators by population numbers. Since the 60s, there are more predators than was thirst, though. I think I heard 30 different things beside they're supposedly among the most toxic starfish to eat. Yeah. That's also another thing. Like, there's not enough predators, so the things that can eat them, there's not enough of them to keep their numbers down. And as you mentioned, like, they are toxic. They so many things don't eat them, and that's a problem. But they do have a natural predator, but unfortunately the predators have been dwindling in numbers because of the fact that their habitat is getting destroyed, and maybe let us eat them. Okay, were you here? Did you see the inside of a starfish? Hold on. Like, let me show. Like, that is the inside of a starfish. I don't think you want to eat that. I really don't think you want to eat this. Like, that is pretty gnarly, okay? You definitely don't want to eat that, okay? So is Patrick Star a specific type of starfish? I just know he's pink. Good question. Looks like pixie sticks powder. Oh, God. It's like this stringy... It's a stringy mess. It's a very stringy mess. Hold on. I actually don't know what kind of starfish. Let me see if he might just be a starfish. Let me look. Patrick Star type of. Someone's probably figured it out. Okay, so Patrick Star is technically a pink sea star. So he is commonly associated with a real-life species like the Pacific pink sea star or Chandraster. So there is a bubblegum pink sea star. So that is what it's like a bubblegum colored. So there's a pink sea star that Patrick apparently is based on. Multiple reasons why there isn't enough predators by numbers, but they're trying their best with research and protecting the predator. Yeah. So, like, yeah, there's multiple reasons. I mean, obviously, we're the number one. So here's like the big thing with corals. Coral bleaching, humans like kicking, damaging, blah blah blah. There's like so many things. And of course, habitat loss means those animals obviously die off because they have no place to hide. And because of that, that's what, yeah, it's like a whole, which we can do a whole course on corals. I'd love to do a course on that. What about the one from Finding Nemo? Oh yeah, the pink, let me go back. I forget her name. Does anyone remember the Seastars name from Finding Nemo? I can't remember. Is the sea star from... Let's see. It is based on... It's also based on the pink sea star. I was like, I think it's based on this pink sea star, but I need to verify because, you know, the color's pink. So, the Great Barrier Reef. I like how you called it reed. I know you meant reef. It's okay. By the way, I sent you a video where they're trying to eat all of SpongeBob characters. Ew, that's gross. Like Mr. Krabs, it makes sense. Patrick, oh no. SpongeBob, you're gonna die. You have to be really careful of eating a sponge. You have to get it processed. And there's like sponges are not soft. Like out in the ocean, they are very spiky and sharp and they will hurt you. They are made with a lot of glass in them, pretty much. So they eat the starfish in the nope, I don't want to see that. Nope. Oh. He did not eat a sponge. He ate a sea pineapple. What? That's gross. Sea pineapples are like, oh, gross. That's disgusting. That's not even, that doesn't even make sense. Sea pineapple is not a sponge. orange nor a pineapple. Because he doesn't have a sea pineapple. He has a pineapple for a home. Just eat a pineapple. Not a sea pineapple does not. Oh, gross. That's disgusting. But anyways, chat. All right. So while we're chatting here, do you guys want to name off 5 animals that are in the ocean or part of the marine life that we want to do for next week? What would you? Great Barrier Reef, please. Okay. Yeah, we can put down the Great Barrier Reef, or if you want to do corals, we can do corals. We can put corals, because the Great Barrier Reef is just a coral reef. So we can do corals, mola mola. Okay, I need 3 more. So we got corals and mola mola. Corals focused on reef. Yeah. We can do that. All right, we got corals and mola mola. Anyone else want to put out an animal that they would want to put to a vote for next week? Start naming them. Start naming. Have we done axolotls? No, we have not. People have recommended it, but it has not won yet. So we have mola mola, corals, axolotl. No one's mentioned narwhal yet either. That makes me really sad. You guys don't want to learn about me. You don't want to learn about your queen. Okay, so we have corals, mola mola, axolotls. 2 more. I already know everything. No, you don't. Trust me, you don't. Like you got a tooth. It's a tusk, not a tooth. Well, technically it is a tooth, not a tusk. But like Steele says, we know everything. They are fish. No, they are not. Oh my god. Okay, wait. I need 2 more. Anyone, if you want to throw out a second one, you can throw out a second one. Feel free. Feel free. Throw out a second one. So we got Axel, or we can just do these 3. We can put a vote for these 3 if there's no others. No one else wants to put out a vote, then. Penguins? Okay. They're in the Arctic. I think they swim. Believe it or not, penguins are not only in the Arctic. They don't live just in the cold. Okay, so we got corals, mola mola, axolotl, penguins, and do we have one more? Anyone down for one more? If not, we'll put these. We'll put these 4. We'll put these 4 to a vote. And then Sir Big Cat, make sure to allow people. Krill, okay. Make sure when people put down their votes, like they can vote again. They can do an extra, like just put it to 1 bubble bloody point for them to vote. Okay, so we have corals, mola mola, axolotl, penguins, and krill. Those are our 5 animals to choose from. Did you get that, Sir Big Cat? Also, yeah, so back to Seastars. Penguins also live at the zoo. Yeah, there are penguins that do live at the zoo. Not naturally, but they do. They do. But what you guys think of the PowerPoint? Do you like the videos too? Do you like me putting the videos out too? All right, start voting, you guys. They seem natural with eggs. Listen, they weren't naturally like found in a zoo. Like we took them there. All right, guys. The poll is up. Vote for the species that you would like to learn about for next week. Get those votes in, you guys. Get them in, get them in, get them in. Yeah, Con, I've been actually working on making the lectures a little bit more easier to understand, so your kids can understand better too. Make sure to start voting. Also, you guys can vote. You can put in votes. Oh, someone's got the idea. Penguins winning right now. By the way, you guys have extra votes. You can just spam if you want. Penguins winning by 9. Oh my god. Penguins is winning. They were really impatient about you starting late. I started on time. I was like, okay, I was 1 minute late today. 1 minute. But that's because I forgot to, I was getting the stuff set up on the YouTube side, so. Uh-oh, Mola is now. Uh-oh, who's gonna win? Is it gonna be Penguins or Mola? Mola's like winning by a landslide. What the heck? Oh shit, everyone. Go, put your votes in. You got 5 minutes. Oh shit, Krill is coming up the ranks here. Oh shit. Krill is catching up. Oh shit, Mola and Penguins are kind of at a tie. Penguins has stopped with the vote. But Krill is now... Oh, but Penguins started again. Can Penguins catch up or can Krill catch up? Oh man, Krill and Penguins are neck to neck right now. Poor Corals, only 3%, and Axolotl's still 0. Nobody wants to learn about axolotls. They're like, boo, they suck. I see too many axolotl VTubers. They're like, I know about them already. There's too many of them. I love axolotls. Did you know Mudkip is based off of an axolotl? Oh my god! Penguins is winning! Oh my god! Penguins has caught up! Can Mola catch back up? Penguins is taking the lead right now. Oh my god! Krill has now taken 2nd place. Mola falling behind. Oh my god! Penguins is at now past the threshold of 300. Oh my god! Who can win? Who can do this? Oh my god! Oh my god! Krill is winning now! What? Krill, the underdog, has just come out of nowhere and just swooped up on these guys. And now Mola is now catching back up with Penguins now back behind. Who is gonna win this vote? Oh my god, this is a neck to neck. It could be anyone's race. Penguins has fallen a little bit behind, but Penguins still has a chance to catch up. I believe in Penguins. Oh my god, Krill is still crushing it out here. Krill just came out of nowhere and Krill has hit the 500 threshold. Oh my god. Holy smokes. People, this is oh my god. Mola now in behind. Penguins trying to catch up. Penguins is starting to catch up. Oh my god, it's neck to neck with Penguins and Krill. Krill just barely hanging on. Barely hanging on by a thread. Oh my god, but Penguins has finally overtaken. But can Krill catch back up? It is neck to neck. They are both going back and forth between Penguins and Krill. Oh my god, who's gonna win? Oh my god. Oh shit, Krill now is taking the lead again. Krill is taking the lead, but Penguins is starting to try to catch up again. Slowly getting back up. Oh, it's so close. It's neck and neck. Oh my god. You guys. Oh my god, who's gonna win? The last second. It's a tie. Oh, but Krill wins. Holy shit. Oh my god. Mola and Penguins tied at second at 753, while Krill got 1 point. 1 point by 754 points. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is an upset. Krill started off so late, but Krill just came by and won by 1 point. Holy moly. Well, congratulations, Krill. You did it. You won. Congratulations. So, class, we're going to learn about Krill for next week. So I hope you all are right. My wrist is torch. Stitches, were you voting for penguins? Oh my god. Dude, you guys gotta get rid of your points somehow, you know? Holy moly, guys. That was intense. All right, you guys. With that, we now are going to raid. I should be streaming tomorrow. I should. The only thing that may prevent me from not is that I might be Creamsicle's parents might come by tomorrow. It really depends. So I have to see what their time when they're coming over. Cause we allow him to have visits to see him and all that. So to see the boy and all that good stuff. But yeah, so we have that going on. And so I will let you know. I do apologize for last week. I completely dropped the ball on that. That was my fault. I was so invested in the kitty, so I do apologize. But we are gonna go and we're gonna raid into D-Tone. He's actually doing music, it looks like. So we're gonna go raid into him because he's a homie. We love D-Tone in this house. Thank you everybody so much for joining me today. Here is our raids for our subscribers and for our non-subscribers. There is your raid messages. Make sure to copy and get those messages ready for raid. So here is the here's the better one of the sub ones, so you get the things. So all those cookie clicker games paid off. Exactly. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I'll let you know if I can't stream tomorrow. But on that note, I will try. Wrong D-Tone? Wait, what? Oh my god, it is the wrong D-Tone. What the heck? Thank you for catching that. What? Why is it rating the wrong D? Oh, because it's D-Tone VT. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. There we go. Oh my god. I know what I'm doing. Hold on. There we go. All right. Now we got the right raid. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Stick around. Support the homie. And make sure to go take care of yourself. Self-care is important. But also, just, you know, lurk. Give him a follow. And have a good one, you guys. Have a good rest of your day, evening, and good night. Bye!